I am going to be doing some muscle snatches, some overhead press, and then some. Actually, found my other tripod. Been looking for this one. Um, what, and then some squats. So we'll see how squats feel. I missed a 220 squat yesterday, but that was after doing a lot of heavy weightlifting stuff, so it wasn't altogether surprising, albeit disappointing in a sense. Those out over there. There. Let's move to. All right, so. There we go. Now we're cooking. Now we found the correct page. All right. Or almost. There we go. All right. So I know today's not going to be a very in-depth session or one I need a lot of paper with. Go ahead and just use this bottom third. I don't know what I'll muscle snatch today. Minimum is 80. If it feels good, I'll try 90. But I'm not really attached to a certain weight. And then we'll do some overhead press. We'll go up to 95. If 95 feels good, we'll try more. So with that, I'll go. We'll start at 60. I'm working kind of weird. All right, so with muscle snatch, I'll go 40. We'll just do the smaller jumps. 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. For the overhead press, we'll do 60 kilos, 80 kilos, and then 95, maybe more. Feels good. And then back squats. Those will truly be by feel. I might just not do them very much at all if it really bothers my IT band, but I would say, I mean, I guess there isn't a true minimum for that, but my minimum, or at least what I would say is the minimum is 200. Ideally, I'd be able to get up to 220 like I missed yesterday, so we'll see. But we're actually going to put knee sleeves on today, which I haven't worn in a while. We're just going to put them on at the beginning of the session. One thing that's nice is knee sleeves. I feel like they get my knees warmer than wraps. I've been wearing wraps for a while, and I don't notice too much of a difference of performance between sleeves and wraps. But sleeves do keep everything a lot warmer, which is not really super ideal in the summer when it becomes, you're sweating a lot more. But today it's about 50 degrees and rainy, so it doesn't feel very warm at all. So it's just kind of a perfect day to break these back out and just wear them for a session, see how they feel. So I haven't worn them in quite a while. They're a little annoying to get on. That's another reason I don't like wearing them, because my calves are too big. Yeah. I forget what I measured my calves at, but they're astronomically. No, I'm in Ohio, so we've got rain all day today. Sure, if I lived in Washington, it'd be raining every day. But finally, can wear my Cleveland hat with after a win. That was one thing I didn't like with the sleeves. You're kind of committed to them for the whole session. Yeah, Olympic weightlifting. I try to. First part is getting on these sleeves. It is over my heel. It's raining pretty hard, it sounds like, outside now. But get this other one up my leg. Oh, my calves are just too large. Whew. Woo. Lazar. Probably feel more difficult to get on than normal because I haven't worn them in quite a while, honestly. Definitely been a couple of months because it's just easier to throw wraps on. All right. So it's a little bit more maybe. Mostly, obviously, I don't need these for the. I train myself. Obviously, don't need sleeves for muscle snatches and power clean and strict press, but once once you start sweating it all, it becomes even more difficult to get and to keep on. All right. One benefit of being a bit colder and me wearing this hat is I can wear my glasses without worrying about them falling off while I train. So normally I just go at it blind. All right. And what's nice about a session like this is I don't really have to warm up that much to do it. So I'm mostly using both these lifts to prepare for squats. Yeah, I got a nice little setup too for it, so I don't have to go to the gym every day to do it. So it decreases the resistance. What's up, Spencer? Yeah, I got a live. I do them sometimes. I haven't done it. I don't know when the last one was. A week or two ago, but do some muscle snatches, some strict press, and some back squats. I actually failed a 220 back squat yesterday, which threw me off. Because usually if it's like 230, 235, 240, like that's usually where if I'm going to miss because that's such a high percentage. I was hoping to do 220 for a total of 5 reps, not 5 in one set, but just in total. Failed the first rep. I was like, I guess I'm cooked. But I did a lot of heavy lifts yesterday, so it's not altogether surprising. But muscle snatch time. Bro got the knee sleeves today because it's cold and seeing how they feel with squats. Shoulder's a little sore, but probably from the bench press. I haven't done that since I think January or February. Not much of a bench press specialist. That's only 40 kilos. We're gonna take a bigger jump. I'm a bit too lazy. We're gonna go to 60. I might go live later tonight. I'm not sure, but I have to see for some video juegos. My front delt's a little bit sore. It's just sore, not hurt. If I didn't lift when I was sore, I wouldn't ever lift. When I stopped lifting the first time I lifted weights. sneaking in here. Yeah. I don't really ever ice anything though. Ice doesn't really help with muscle soreness. Heat's good, but I think mobility and movement are the two most important things. Ice is like, I mean, if you have something acutely, like, twist your ankle, it's good for like that pain, but it doesn't really help with recovery too much. Massage, you know, I don't ever go and get them, but like, with the massage gun and rolling pipe and stretching, you kind of serve the same purpose without spending all that money to go get them. I think the biggest benefit of massage is you're just kind of laying and you're relaxing. No, I mean, I have used that before, but that stuff's mostly placebo. Actually, I say mostly, it's all placebo. It just feels good or cold or whatever. It doesn't help your muscles do anything. So see how this 80 feels? There's a chance it feels heavy, which wouldn't be too surprising. So that's a good one to end on. Definitely could probably try 90, but it would just be a fight. Yeah. I mean, like, massage oils, like, if you go get a massage and, like, massage oils and stuff like that, like, the reason those oils are good is because it, prevents you from getting, like, um, it, it makes it easier to not get, like, irritated skin. But it doesn't actually do anything. But, I mean, it's one of those things, it's like, if it feels good, there's not, like, a downside to it. Placebo's powerful, that's for sure. That should be for sure. Best thing for recovery is food, hot shower, and mobility. I think stretching is really important. Just kind of not constant movement, but just movement in general. But yeah, like if you like a massage oil or something, like if you are doing self massage, like could be useful so you're not irritating your actual skin. But yeah, like even like the massage gun I use, like it's just like it feels good. I don't think it really does a ton, but it's kind of like you stretch, use that, you kind of go back and forth, and it's like, how much is the massage gun doing anything? Probably hardly nothing. But well, depends what substances you're talking about. But even if a drug does work, there is a placebo effect that can go on top of that. So ibuprofen could be an example of that. So it's going to have an acute effect of whatever it's going to do. But if like every time you take it, it's like I'm going to get a ton of relief and it feels great, like you're going to get an effect on top of that. So it could exacerbate the positive feeling that you get from something. Kind of like people with alcohol where they kind of act more drunk than they actually are. because they feel that chemical affecting them, so then they just act more like it's doing more. So that's like another example of the placebo effect, because the person could be buzzed a little bit, but then they're acting goofier, more free because they feel that benefit. They say the same with caffeine too. There is a placebo effect that is demonstrated with caffeine, but you can't really placebo your muscles. So if you have like decaf coffee, you're not going to exert as much force as if you have caffeine, but you can placebo yourself to feel more alert and awake. If you think you had like a normal cup of coffee, it's actually decaf. So cognitively, you can gaslight yourself, but your muscles don't exert more force. So that was one thing I remember interesting learning. With one of my professors in college did that research. Did a lot of caffeine, a lot of protein research. Dr. Lowry. Not to say you can't train hard without taking caffeine, but if the pre-workout doesn't have caffeine in it, probably not a very good one. Caffeine is the best. So like the big thing that he concluded, or his big like thing regarding his research, was basically like you can't have too much protein, in the sense that like there was a lot of myths with like it would damage your kidneys, or like there could be negative health consequences to having too much protein, and that was like one of the big like he has a big textbook, and that was like his big thing is like there's just I mean, I'm obviously there's an upper limit to nutrition that you have. Like if you had 1,000 grams of protein, like you're probably gonna have health issues from how much food you ate. But like having like a gram per body weight, like you're not gonna get too much and damage your kidneys or stuff like that. So like I recently had, or earlier this year, I should say, I had blood work done, and my creatinine was high, but my mom was worried, oh, it's you have a lot of protein. I'm like, that could be true, and that's probably why on like the um, whatever, like the minimum and maximum level, I'm going to be towards the higher level, but it's not going to impact my kidney function versus like me not drinking enough water, which was the bigger thing. Um, yeah, and it's your body doesn't like your body doesn't have there's not a negative consequence having too much protein. The only negative consequences of having too much protein are the same that if you have too many calories. Like if you eat too much, you get fat. So like there's not like a risk to that. And I would caveat that like if you have like whey protein and you just have 15 scoops of that, like you're not getting enough calories, or you're not having a lot of calories even with like 15 scoops of whey. But you're probably gonna have a lot of indigestion issues. But that isn't necessarily like your kidneys are gonna have like issues. Your stomach's just gonna have issues with that. But that was like the big thing with his research, and um, for one of his big conclusions of that. And the other was like caffeine. But if you look up Dr. Lowry protein, you'd probably be able to see his textbook, the one that I don't think I ever read it or had to read it for a class or had it as a class, but it was like his big textbook. But yeah, he was a big bodybuilder guy, or I guess a short one, but he was very jacked in his time, and that was his big conclusion. So a lot of the fear mongering, because he was a bit older. Um, I think that's how you spell it. Um, Lonnie Lowry is his name. But I don't think he teaches at Mount Union where I went to college anymore. But he was a professor there for a number of years. He might still be there. I know he was on a podcast for a while with a couple other strength people, and then he left that one. But it was really cool because I had him for a college professor, and yeah, it was. I think one. I remember one thing he talked about. It's like if you are, if you just eat as much, because it's like, I don't know if it was in relation to protein, but he's talking about it's like if you just eat chicken and broccoli, and you can eat as much of that as you possibly can. You're not going to get fat. You're not going to gain weight because it's just, and that kind of I think was more so getting to like the satiating. Like you just can't physically eat enough chicken breast and broccoli to like get fat if you're lifting weights and stuff. So a lot of the like it isn't really. I don't know. I just remember that it's like you just eat as much chicken and broccoli as you want. You're not going to get fat. It's basically impossible because it's just how satiating that is in the volume of it, which is very true. As someone that tries to eat healthy, it is very difficult to eat healthy and eat a lot. The volume starts to get crazy. All right, we'll try 80 now. I'm gonna do 80. Assuming this feels alright, we'll go to 95. Yeah, but when I think I was there at college, a lot more of his focus was on caffeine. Popped off. Yeah, that's like there's other limitations to that. And so basically it's like food volume is not the amount of food you eat isn't the more important factor. It's what you eat. Because you could eat 5 pounds of chicken breast and broccoli a day, and obviously in theory you could eat enough, but like there's a practicality aspect of like your I mean like literally like you mentioned your jaw, like you're physically just not going to be able to get through that much food with without having like major issues, getting some jaw tendonitis from chewing that much. You'd have to start blending it, in which case you're just going to feel miserable blending. Imagine that's your diet, blended chicken breast and broccoli. I think I would go crazy after about 2 hours of that. Probably one shake. I've never blended chicken before. That sounds disgusting. At that point, just eat more whey or drink more whey. All right. So we got 95 on the bar now. What's up, Nolan? Sucks about your collarbone. I wasn't sure because I saw you had that like little short of it happening. I wasn't sure if that was you or someone else. Actually, when I was about three or four, I fell off a slide and broke. I don't know if it's this one of my collarbones. I was too young, but I fell off a slide, and I remember my parents. Well, I don't remember. My parents said I broke my collarbone. I think they said I was like complaining because I was real little, and they didn't think that was. They didn't think I was actually hurt, and until they took me to the doctor. But that sucks though. Time to leg press and leg extension, leg curl. So you got balloons for legs. So you probably can't really squat or anything with your arm being immobilized. But you can probably leg press. Certainly leg extension and leg curl, and any sort of hip movement. Ouch. Well, hopefully you get back to doing something soon. But I suppose in a sense, like this time of year, not that there's ever really an ideal time to do that, but outside of baseball season is probably the best possible time because then you have the whole winter to recover and get back to it. And you just might be a little bit behind throwing wise and stuff, but be able to do a lot of ab stuff, that's for sure. a lot of rotational stuff. Really everything but your upper body. So I mean, you'll still be able to get a lot of good work in if you plan it out right. So that part is good. Because I feel like a leg injury, maybe because I do so much leg stuff, I feel like a leg injury is always worse because it just destroys everything you can do. And if I could only do legs, like I would much rather that versus only upper body. That's why I don't understand people who like don't like to do any lower body stuff. So I would just go crazy. That's disgusting, man. That's commitment, though. I think I might throw up if I could put those together. I don't think I'm getting that down. Tuna? I feel like chicken breast would have been better than that. That's brutal. But I mean, like, that's better than trying to eat both of those, if you're trying to get a lot of calories and healthy. I feel like blending rice and, like, something would be a good way to get a lot. Yeah, once. I'm sure that's all it took to know to not do that again. Alright, try 95. Definitely feeling my chest a little bit. It's funny, I only did singles, but my chest is so untrained it gets sore from singles. So I did 135 for two doubles, which isn't really anything, and then 225, 245, 265, and then 275, all singles. Try to do something more than 100. I failed 105, I failed 103, so today I'm going to try 102. If I fail this again, I'll just go down to 100 or 101 next week. Not really too concerned what my press is, but it's like every time I go heavy now, I can get to 100. 102 is a nice number though, because that's 225 in freedom units. $225 freedom units. It's really what they should be called instead of pounds. Ain't gonna lie. Ain't gonna lie. Or bald eagles. You measure everything in bald eagles. Alright, 102. Theoretically, too, if I go 95 kilos to 102, 105 is my PR. I can start taking cracks that aren't like a 6 kilo jump, like a 4 kilo jump would be a little bit easier. So that part would be nice. All right, let's find the song. I don't know if this is gonna move anywhere. 95 wasn't super light, but more than 90%, whatever 95 of 10, it's 95 of 105. So actually it's right at 90%, so. All right, we'll see what happens. It was a good song. CrossFit workout. Whew. That hurt my soul. Whew. Supporting to myself, make sure I don't get, I missed the 105 and 3, I finally got that. But like hitting 95 consistently is really good for, 90% strict press. And it being a pretty like routine or like a weight I'm like, I used to do it every time. That wasn't always the case. That's for sure. It used to be the PR. So I still remember when 93 kilos was the PR. Strict press has always taken forever to increase. By far the most difficult lift. I mean, obviously snatch, clean, jerk, but most difficult strength lift to increase. So all the muscles are just so small. It's hard to get them to go up. All right, and it's raining again. I don't think it stopped. Oh, it helps me tremendously to do the power clean beforehand. Because as you see, like as I got it up, it wasn't really like locked on my chest. So for me, it helps a lot. But yeah, like I've pressed 90 out of the rack. I probably have pressed 95, but like anytime if I'm doing like any max I've ever hit has been from the ground. And ideally, actually, if I was like 100%, like I need to hit a 1 rep max strict press, I wouldn't have straps, lifting straps on, because then I'd be able to turn over my hands just a little bit differently. It might be a little bit more comfortable theoretically. I'd have wrist straps on and a belt. That would all help all of them, but not doing it out of the rack helps me, or doing it the power clean before. Whether I did it kind of today where it was kind of like, yeah, 100% hit it better with the power clean beforehand. Usually the same is true with push press, but I've noticed I've been able to do that pretty decent out of the rack. But I think because if I'm gonna like push press like 130 kilos, like that's a decently heavy clean, so it can take some energy out of me. If I'm gonna try to power clean, it's gonna take some energy out of me. But like 100 kilo, or today 102 kilo power clean, it's a very light power clean, so it doesn't take anything out of me. And I feel like the aggression of that power clean pulls me tighter, so then I just have more aggression in the press. Plus, then you get some of that oscillation from the bar, and I don't know. It just like it's always felt better. Even when I wasn't really that good at cleans, it always felt better to do them prior. Push presses are kind of the other way, a little bit, but I'm kind of stagnant in both of them. Like I can basically do out of the rack the same. My PR actually did out of the rack. I've done 132 from like a power clean and push press or a clean. I don't know if it was a full clean or a power clean. I did 135 out of the rack, so those are pretty close. But like strict press, like if I'm just doing reps, like if I was just gonna do like 70 kilos for some reps, I would just do it out of the rack. It doesn't make like a world of difference for lighter weights. But yeah, for like maximal ones, I feel like it's something with that turnover, that aggression with the upper body, just like fires everything up a little bit more. Not really sure. Thank you. All the dust out here. Honestly, surprised I don't sneeze all the time out here. In my dirty, dusty shed. All right. Once one active. So 170 now. Yeah. Yeah, we're definitely stopping there. It's too slow. It's right though. We didn't irritate anything, and see how that looked. Yeah, it started to move okay, and then it slowed down a lot. So let's keep doing the hip circle stuff and keep working at that. And hey, you caught everything, so you have a good one, Spencer. I'll see you later, man. Thanks for coming by. That's all I'm doing today. Ooh. Thanks, Oliver. Olivier, I don't know how to say. Yeah, extra letter in your name than what most Olivers have. But yeah, I mean 200 yesterday and 200 today. I'm not going to complain about that for sure. Put these weights away. Gonna be it. Deuces.